Mark, let's start with, let's go with team news first. There was no AJ Taus or Jesse D against Featherstone. What's the situation with them at the moment?
Yeah, AJ's still working his way back, hopefully in the next 2-3 weeks, and Jesse will be done for the year. He's got a ruptured bicep, so, really disappointed with that one because he's a quality player and he's a a big part of this team, behind the scenes as well. But I think it'll be a 3-4 month if it's a rupture. So I think he's having surgery this week, and we'll go from there with it. But yeah, speedy recovery for him as well.
Is he in good spirits given the situation?
Yeah, it seems like I'm going to chat to him later today as well. But main thing is first and foremost we get his injury repaired, and then we can put a plan in place to get him back to full fitness, and we'll keep him around the team. He's a big leader off the field as well for York. So main thing is we just get him fit first and then look after him after that.
Yeah, and how much involvement did you have in last week's news that he's put pen to paper and extended his time with the club? So you're going to have him for next season? Yeah,
no, I'm really over Moone is staying. I'll be honest with you, I didn't have any saying that. I think it had all been sorted, in the weeks previous. But one thing I do know about Jesse is he's a quality player, quality person, big part of what's been going on at York, and I am really looking forward to coaching him and seeing him back out there in a York shirt.
Any of the longer term injured players making any faster, speedy recoveries?
Good question. I suppose we'll see over the next few weeks, won't we? No, I think we're there or thereabouts. Obviously, we've got Levi still that's managing his knee. Bailey's coming back soon. He's just going through a few markers and things like that. I'm trying to think if there's anyone I missed there. I think they're probably. There's Cunno too. Cunno's coming along nicely. He's back training with us now, so I can't see him being too far off. Hopefully, a couple of weeks. So, yeah, there's some troops coming round corners. But the main thing for me is it's that next man up mentality, isn't it? It's an opportunity for someone else to keep them shirts, and if we carry on how we are, then they'll give me a lot of selection headaches, which is what you want.
Yeah. Just before we go on to on-field matters, have, in terms of contracts, anyone you've tapped on the shoulder and said, let's look at something more longer term? If Jesse's put pen to paper,
no.
Your end?
No. As I say, I'm still getting to know the squad myself. Really happy with people, but Clint's there for that sort of stuff. I'm just enjoying coaching this group. Obviously, you've got to have one eye on next year, but let's not lose sight of what we said last week, or 1 week at a time. So as we get to know people and players, and I'm sure Clint knows a hell of a lot more than me on that side of it, we'll be able to start looking at next year as well. But I don't think it's wise to take your eye off the here and now, especially when you're coaching. So I'm just focusing on Sheffield on Sunday.
Because we've alluded to it before about signing players for next season, as you alluded to last week. Have any names dropped in where you may think that's someone we want to go and target?
There's always names. Getting them names is a different thing, isn't there?
Share any?
No. It's just it's the same for every club at the moment. You're in constant contact with your board and your owners. Identifying areas you could strengthen. Agents are naturally trying to get the players signed up for next year if they're out of contract. But as I said, it's important too that we have a good look at what we've currently got and make sure we secure the talent that's already here that we want. And if there is any gaps in squad depth or anything like that, we'll address that as a coach and a board and as an owner with Clint, and then hopefully put some plans in place from there.
Quickly recapping on Featherstone, what was going through your mind when you were 16-0 down?
No, I thought, as I said after the game, it were a poor start. I just thought we dipped his toe in. Featherstone are a very good team. They start big, they're a big outfit, and I think we were just a bit caught in rabbit in headlights a bit. And I think as soon as we adapted and we put a few tweaks on the go on, which you've got to give credit to the players that were out there for doing. And I thought we showed some great togetherness and some great will to win. So lots of positive signs, and also a lot that where we're not happy about, because we want to fix up, because we've got our own goals where we want to be, and if we want to be, you know, one of them playoff contenders, we're under no illusions that we can't keep on giving teams head starts on us and expect to come out with a win. You know, we need to get it fixed up.
I suppose spin that even more positively. It shows that there's character and determination within the group that you've got to turn these situations around. The problem is you obviously want to make sure that they don't materialise in the first place. Yeah,
massively. Listen, the group's really together and the spirit there's fantastic. You know, I can't speak highly enough of the group as a whole. You know, they demand more from each other too. They're not happy with it in terms of gifting, you know, certain tries, and at the end of the day, when you play professional sport, you want to get better. You know, you should thrive off that competition side of it all. So we want to get better as people first and foremost. I want to get better as a coach. They want to get better as players, and we want to get better as a team. So if you're involved in any form of professional sport, you've got to have that sort of mentality, else there's no point being there, is there?
Winning always feels good when you're in professional sport, but how do you unwind and reflect on a victory as a coach in difference to when you was a player?
Same, never too high, never too low. You just, you know, it's sport, isn't it? You ride the highs and you ride the lows, and you make sure you don't lose sight of what got you there in the first place. You know, you're always going to have good victories and difficult losses, you know, throughout a year. It's important you don't lose that objectivity about what you're trying to achieve. You know, you don't rest on your laurels, or you don't get too much smoke blown up your backside. You know, it's just important to keep a level head and not lose sight of what you want to do as a group. And as a coach, you take that objectivity into consideration. You know, you don't start believing all that hype. You know, it's just about the here and now. You know, and we've had 2 good wins. That's irrelevant now. You know, it's full eyes on Sunday, and we can't. You know, we'll be coming up against his most difficult challenge yet. Sheffield are a very well-coached team. You know, they're right up in the mix in that top 2 in the championship. So we're under no illusions. We can't take us foot off the gas. We've got to keep on getting better if we want to, you know, achieve our own goals.
Obviously, how driven you actually are. Do you take that opportunity on a Sunday after the Featherstone victory to put your feet up on the evening and just put it to a side, or are you that driven to go straight into review, so then on Monday morning you're back in, you go, right, this is what I want to do?
I'll be honest with you, after a game I tend to switch off a bit. You've got your emotions in it, haven't you? So if you're watching a game when you're too happy or you're too sad, or, you know, however the game's gone, you kind of got that anger in you still, or that happiness. So I tend to, sometimes I'll watch a game depending on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll just leave it until first thing in the morning, and, you know, you've had a good night's sleep, a fresh head, a new set of eyes to look at it through. So yeah, it just depends on how you are on the way. I'll be honest with you, last Sunday I went on a run to clear my head and my thoughts. I went and did a 10k, so I don't know if I was thinking clearly doing that with that 8. But yeah, it just depends on the week and how, you know, you're feeling, I suppose.
Well, some enjoy 10k runs, some don't, but each to their own, isn't it? And
that's it.
With Sheffield, 3rd time they're coming here.
Yeah.
What's the input been like so far from players and coaches? Because this will be the first time that you've been in charge of a Sheffield match against York.
It's just like anything. What's happened in the past is irrelevant, isn't it? You know, it's just the here and now. You know, Sheffield's had a good victory at Widnes. You know, for me, they're a very well-structured team. You know, they'll punish you if you haven't got your systems right. So we're just looking at where we need to get better as a team. Obviously, you've got to be aware of the opposition and what threats they cause, but you know, we're under no illusions that we'll be coming up against a very, very well-drilled Sheffield team. But at the same time, it's something that excites us. You know, we want to be involved in them sorts of games where you are challenged and you're going to find out about yourself as individuals and as a team.
What have you watching them before you put the York crest back on as a coach? How much did you get to watch them during the time where you wasn't a coach?
Well, I went down Wembley to commentate on that game, and obviously you catch the occasional games, you know, through different teams, and I just think what Mark's done there over a prolonged period now, he's rebuilt that team many a time. You know, they've always been there or thereabouts, haven't they, in the Championship? You know, so you've got to give credit there. I think they're very well structured. the pick triggers to play very well. If, as I said, if you get your numbers wrong in defence or anything like that, they're smart enough, especially with Matty Marsh around the back, he'll pick it all day long. There's some quality players in that team. I don't know if Thackeray will be back, but he stays around that field well. They've got a number of players throughout. I could go through 1 to 13, but at the same time, as I said, the key to it for me is not worrying too much about them. It's being aware of them and also, making sure that we're at where we want to be.
How will it feel coaching your first game for York rather than as a player on home soil? What differences will it bring you?
Well, I won't be blowing out my backside on the field. That'll be the biggest one. But no, I'm looking forward.
Well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the first home game and seeing the stadium in action for the first time as such. But it's always nice to coach at home in front of your fans. Looking forward to that. But the cold harsh reality of it is it's another game that brings different challenges. Whether that's home or away, and we're just looking eyes on Sheffield and looking at our goals and objectives there.
Memories might spring to mind when you walk through the office doors on a match day at home for the first time?
It's different because when you're at a new stadium such as this, you haven't really got any memories from that stadium, have you? So not a lot in terms of being at this stadium. I could talk about when it used to be at the football ground. I forgot the name of that actually now.
Bootham Crescent.
Crescent.
Wardy won't be happy.
I know, bumming hell, mine went blank. So Bootham Crescent, I remember the first game that I played there, that were a good atmosphere, and then obviously I remember at the old Huntington Stadium. You get fond memories when you're playing, but as I say, I'm irrelevant. It's not about me, is it? It's about the lads out on the field, the 17 blokes that take to that field. That's what the headline should be about. My job's to prepare them through the week, and their job's obviously to take care of business come Sunday.
Just Challenge Cup is presumably going under a new format, which involves Championship clubs and League One clubs coming in at round 2 and coming in at round 3. What's your view of it?
I don't even give it any thought, if I'm honest with you. It's in January, isn't it? The Challenge Cup's competition that when I was a kid, I grew up watching, seeing, your great teams of yesteryear. It's great memories. And what I will say is, when it comes to that time, we'll be doing everything we can to get as far as we can in that competition. But, at this moment in time, I can't say it's massively on my radar.
Fair enough. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Just continuing on with what you were saying about Sheffield, a lot of quality over the pitch, and they characteristically start the matches very quickly. How do you go about sort of just matching that and make sure your tempo's right from the start?
Being aware of it's one, but it's keeping your own standards where you want to start. I think it's fair to say we didn't start the Featherstone game how we anticipated we wanted to, and we're under no illusions. We can't carry on starting games like that because we'll end up getting burned. Sheffield do start big, but I think we're focusing more on where we need to be as a team, and how we want to be and what our own standards need to look like. If we're not where we need to be, then they are a fast starting team, and it's something we are aware of.
You've had the perfect start to life as head coach with the 2 wins from 2. How important is it to you to sort of keep that run going and see the Knights go even further up the table?
It's not about me, is it? I know you're head coach and you get the headline as such, but it's about the players. And as a collective, if we want to be in that playoff mix at the end of the year, then we need to make sure that we're competing. In games such as last week and Sheffield that's coming up this week. So, we're just looking at where we want to get to as a team and where our own objectives needs to lie. So that's what we're focusing on at the moment. And come Sunday, it's a good test for us. And as I said, if we want to be in that mix at the end of the year, these are the sort of games you've got to be competing in.
Is your shoulders and the players' shoulders knowing that you're no longer sort of around the bottom 3 sort of area, you're now going towards, I think you're 7th in the table?
I don't know, it was weird. It could all change again. Let's say 5 games down the line, you're looking at a completely different thing. For me, it's 1 week at a time, making sure that you don't lose sight of where you want to be and not forgetting what gets you there. You end up getting burned if you take your eye off the ball for that split second. So all our energy is going into making sure we perform how we want to perform come Sunday. once we've got Sunday out of the way, whether that's a good win or a tough loss, you then reassess and go from there. I think if you start thinking too many games down the line, you know, you end up getting caught out, don't you?
Reflecting on that Featherstone win, what were the main positives for you? Sorry,
I thought the spirit that the lads showed to get themselves back in, and the adaptability. You know, I think it's fair to say there were a few tweaks that we had to do on the go. I think it's no secret that we've got a few lads playing out of position, and they're doing a really good job for the team, and we had to adapt it as we went along. And I think the most pleasing thing for me was that it's all right having a game plan. That it's like anything, you know. What did Mike Tyson say that time? Everyone's got a game plan till you get punched in the face, and that adaptability is probably the key to being a good team. You need to be able to tweak things on the go, and you only get that when you've got a group of players that feel empowered. So our job as coaches is to make sure that the players know that come Sunday it's them out on the field, and they've got that power to take control of that game. So it's just reinforcing that message, really.
Do you have any updates on Tom Lynham and Miles Harrison?
Yes, so Tom's torn his pectoral, he's done for the year. Miles has had shoulder surgery last week, so I'd be very surprised if we saw him again this year as well.
And Charles Evers, how's he recovering?
Good question. I'll have to get the injury report on that one.
Okay. A player I'm not sure if you'll have too much of an input in right now. Apologies for the pronunciation. Robin Hughes, who is I think he's a French forward. He's been on trial for a while now. It was last reported they had a few issues with his visa. Are there any updates on that?
I think he's available to play. So Robin's been training. Yeah, he's definitely a unit. All right, he's raw. He's got you know, you can see the potential in him. So yeah, he'll carry on training with us, and then, you know, hopefully we'll get him a game either with York or somewhere. You know, when we see fit.
Last question from me. The partnership with Newcastle.
Yes.
What sort of conversations have you had with anyone from Newcastle, and are you pleased with how it's going?
Well, I know Spuggy well. Obviously, I played under Spuggy when he was coaching at York. So yeah, I've had a quick chat with him just about a couple. Like, I think what they're doing is really great to see that they're rebuilding that club now. It's no secret it's a tough time for them in their history. You know, it's a challenge for players going and playing up there at the moment because, you know, they are struggling. But all you want from a player that's going on dual reg is to go give it the best that they can for Newcastle as a team. If we do send them there, and I think it's fair to say the lads that have been going up have been doing what they can. But yeah, you know, they're his dual reg partner, and where we can, we'll try help them out.
What's thinking behind sending Taylor Pemberton there?
Taylor needs some game time. You know, he's another that's put his hand up and played out of position. But at the moment, as nines have been playing well, I see Taylor as a 9. You know, so he's going to have to be patient. There's a few things that I've told him I'd like to see him working on. Taylor's a player I've known through the England pathways. I think he's a champion lad. He's got potential to be a very good player. You know, and unfortunately, you can't pick them all. So at the moment, you know, the nines, because we've had a couple of good wins and there's been some good performances, they're doing the job. So you've got to be patient and wait your turn. So in the meantime, he needs to be playing to work on, you know, a few areas in his game. And, you know, he's been so professional in how he's gone about that. So I can't speak highly enough of him.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
No problem.